Hello everyone and welcome to a first impressions video about the Mutsu, the upcoming tier 6 Japanese premium battleship. Now keep in mind this is a first impressions video and this is a review version of the ship, so everything you see here is subject to change. Actually there are some changes happening that we already know about, so the reload will be buffed, the turret traverse will be buffed and the radar shift time will be buffed. Now, if you want a more detailed review about this ship, I will link one written by LittleWhiteMouse. She is very good at reviewing ships, and you can have a look at that as well. But now I'll give you my thoughts about this ship. So let's start with the bad things. She is rather sluggish, like she really doesn't like to turn. Her armor isn't very good, but I mean she's still a battleship. The secondary gun range is only 4 kilometers. The penetration is not that high, so she has the same caliber as the Nagato, but her guns are concerned, but she has much lower penetration values. And the anti-air is so bad it's barely non-existent. I mean, you will shoot down the occasional plane, but it won't defend you against anything. So that's the bad. What's good about this ship? Well, what's really good about this ship are the guns. The guns have a pretty high caliber, and that means you can overmatch the bows of other battleships your tier. It also means that they hurt. So if you hit someone, he is in a world of hurt. And that makes this ship a lot more interesting if you are not top tier, but if you are in a higher tier match. And guess what? In tier 6 you will very seldom be top tier. So yeah, I would say the guns are certainly very nice. They also have a decent accuracy. They have a range of 20.4 kilometers, which is more than enough. And yeah, with a buffed turret traverse and a buffed reload, those guns will be even more enjoyable. Now, as you can see here, she also has torpedoes. You have 2 launchers per side. Each launcher launches 1 single torpedo. The reload on the torpedoes is quite quick though. But the launching arcs are pretty bad, so getting use out of your torpedoes is hard. But it can happen. Your hit point pool is pretty nice. You have the highest amount of hit points from all tier 6 battleships. And your top speed is pretty good at 26.5 knots. So how does this ship perform in battles and how would you want to play her? Well, obviously don't show broadside, but that's something you shouldn't do in any ship. But yeah, she is rather easy to citadel if you aren't careful. The gun traverse is... well, I mean, I have a Warspite, and the Warspite is pretty much the worst gun traverse ever. But still, I'm looking forward to seeing her with better traverse speed, because getting your guns pointed at an enemy ship can be a pain in the ass, especially since your ship itself doesn't like to turn as well. And hello Emerald. Now I'm not going to show you a full match here, I'm just showing you here this small engagement, and then we will switch to another clip where I can show you where I found some use for those torpedoes. But yeah, you wanna be careful in the Mutsu. You aren't that well armored, you don't wanna end up in a brawl, even though you have torpedoes, you only have 2 of them. And this Emerald is going to beach herself here. Yeah, that's nice, although yeah, I think our carrier got this before my shells arrive. Anyway. Yeah, you will have a hard time even in a brawl, even with your torpedoes, because you have to show your broadside in order to launch those torpedoes, and if you show your broadside in a brawl, you will get citadel, and that just hurts. But you have a good hit point pool, your hit points are a resource you can use. Oh, keep that in mind. But the best features certainly are the guns. Because the guns can perform pretty well even if you are not top tier. Now here in this match, it was a pretty interesting match. It was the first match I played in the Mutsu. The enemy obviously had 2 carriers. You have to be careful, like if planes catch you and you don't have support, you are in a world of hurt. There were no destroyers in this match. Now usually in a scenario like that I would love from a battleship to push into the cap circle, but we are just vastly outnumbered here. And I'm not top tier and I'm not the best armored ship, and so there was no situation where I could have pushed in there, and I would have liked to. Oh, here I'm trying to ambush the enemy New Mexico, and as you can see I'm trying to turn away, but this ship just turns so slowly and I'm having trouble keeping my guns pointed at the New Mexico because the guns turn so slowly as well. Now I got torpedoes in the water. I received a massive hit because I wasn't that well angled, and I only got 1 torpedo hit there, which is a bit unfortunate, so the New Mexico is still afloat. And yeah, this ship is unfortunately not a very good brawler, because I just really love to brawl, and I was hoping to see some nice secondary action, but 4 kilometers just isn't a lot of range for your secondaries. And well, even if you have captain skills or something, then they might get it up to 5 kilometers. You can see the secondaries firing here. Don't expect too much from them. Again, my torpedoes here just failed miserably, unfortunately, which is probably my fault. And we are capping this game, so while this Nuremberg is presenting a nice broadside, it's unfortunately a battle won already. So what are my thoughts about the Mutsu? Well, she has pretty nice guns, and this is very important because she doesn't get punished too hard if she isn't top tier. And yeah, at tier 6, let's face it, you aren't top tier very often. Now if you are top tier, this ship can be an absolute monster. If you aren't, you have to play a bit more careful, stay a bit more in the back, but you have good accuracy, you have a decent range. Don't sit at 20 kilometers and snipe all the game, that's not a good idea. But if you are at medium ranges, you will get some great results. You have the speed to relocate. What you don't really have is a good turning circle, so keep in mind when you turn your ship, you're exposing your broadside for quite a long time. And you aren't very good at dodging torpedoes. If planes are coming for you, you need your team to help. And the torpedoes are a bit more of a gimmick and not really an important feature for the ship. But I mean, it's nice to have them. So yeah, I think the ship has some potential if you're looking for a Japanese battleship to train your captains in. She might be an interesting choice. And we shall see how the buffs affect her. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys next time.